Fashion. Lou Williams for the win. Bingo!
Oh my goodness.
By Landry, Ariza drop down. Kobe! Oh! Up high! Down hard! Kobe Bryant!
They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
Kawhi aggressive to the rack.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to a post-game live here on Dime Dropper for the 2024-25 season, the NBA playoffs in 2025 to be exact. And tonight, it's a late night, but I know a bunch of people are going to watch this in the morning, so I had to say something. I had to talk about these LA games. Super chats are turned on. If you want to drop $1 a dime, make sure to subscribe for all things LA basketball. Your home for LA pro basketball, LA sports, and of course the NBA. I will be doing a live on every single game of the playoffs like I promised to do every year. I said I was going to do that tonight and cover every single game, but I haven't been able to watch every single game. And I want to apologize as well before I begin. Because tonight we're just going to be talking Clippers, Lakers, then a little bit of Warriors, the California teams. But my analysis, I'm kind of a weird guy when it comes to basketball in the sense that, and I get a lot of shit from it because of from my friends that, I kind of view basketball like a book or like a movie where, there's a beginning of your story and there's a middle of your story and then there's the end. And, I feel like you don't want to skip parts. I want to know all the sequences of it, all the ebbs and flows and all that. So when I was talking about the play-in game the other night and Jimmy Butler was playing and I'd only watched one game of Jimmy Butler on the Warriors, and that was against the Clippers in the last day of the season, that didn't make me feel like, I was speaking with the same expertise that I get on the microphone and speak to you you guys every single year for the playoffs. So I'm doing some background studying, essentially, some of the stuff that I missed. So I've been kind of lagging on the games. So, I actually ended up watching Jimmy Butler's first two games as a Warrior, randomly the last couple of days. So let's start out with the Clippers. Of course, I've done extensive coverage of this game already on Locked On. And on this channel, I did the post-game reactions after the viewing party. But I said I'm going to go all out for the playoffs this year, give you double the content. We're going to go live after every game. At least we'll have a live talking about every game. And I'll be doing a vlog for every game. So, and Locked On in addition to that. So let's just talk about how we lost. I think we really blew that one. Really blew it. We led for the majority of the game. We were up 15 points. And the Denver Nuggets gave us chance after chance after chance to get back in this ball game. Or not to get back in this ball game, to really just seal the deal, to finish out, to close out the game. And, Jokic is not going to miss all those bunnies all the time. He's not going to miss those. He missed 2 free throws. I felt really good about our potential chances to win the game after that. And we didn't capitalize. Now, there's obviously things that we could have done a lot better. Ty Lue's been saying throughout before the series has started, and he even said it when he was interviewed in the ESPN telecast of this game, taking care of the ball, preventing the Nuggets from getting out in transition. That is ultimately where we have to be great, and we failed in that regard. We had 20 turnovers as a team, 7 of them coming from Kawhi Leonard. So when it comes to looking at how you're going to evaluate performance in a team when you lose, you can look at the team concepts first. Okay, yeah, we turned the ball over too much. We did not rebound to end the game. How many offensive rebounds did we give up late in this game? 6 or 7. And it was, you got to do the little things. And the thing about the Denver Nuggets is you have to beat them for 4 quarters. Just ask our neighbors over there. Because last year in that first round series, the Lakers were winning every single game for quarters. And then all of a sudden, as the game went on, they'd find a surgical way to beat you. That's why it was so shocking to me when they lost last year to the Minnesota Timberwolves. But maybe not so much. That's the way we're going to talk about the Wolves later. But regardless, Jamal Murray and Jokic, they have a way of turning up as the game goes on, particularly Jamal Murray, and that can be very dangerous. So when you look at how this game went, you knew it was going to be a close game. You knew that we were not going to run away with it, that it wasn't going to be some kind of blowout. So you'd have to get it out the mud. And one thing, and I still pick Clippers in 6. I'm still sticking with Clippers in 6. This obviously got a lot harder. I think a team without mental toughness would really be demoralized after a game like this. And who knows, like we might come out and get smacked tomorrow. But I don't see that. I don't. I still think there's a lot of matchup stuff that is in our favor. Like the beginning of the game when we were up 15, 51-36, that whole first, quarter and a half of the game, James Harden was getting whatever he wanted in pick and roll. They had to literally switch up their coverage because they were getting cooked so bad. At first, it was Jokic on the, coming out to the level of the screen. We were getting Zoo in the short roll, and Chris Dunn was feasting. And then they went drop because they were like, oh, shit, Zoo in the short roll, making it life tough for us. So then they had Jokic in drop, and Harden literally had red carpets run to the rim. By the way, if you guys are on Twitter, I'm going to be taking that stream off at the 15-minute mark. There's double as many people on Twitter as there are on YouTube. I really want to get to 13,000 subscribers, so I'd really appreciate if you came to YouTube. It's where I make my most money. It's where I spend the most time editing and stuff. The link is on my Twitter page, so if you're already on Twitter, it'd be really appreciated because I'm at a 15-minute mark. I'm going to shut it down. So if you're a Laker fan especially, please come to Twitter. Super chats are turned on. Also, if you want to drop $1 or a dime, any donation is appreciated. I'll be setting up my green screen this week, so you won't have this plain white background anymore. Obviously, still all the process in the move-in. But, yeah, as far as Kawhi, 22 points in an overtime game. We lose 112-110. That's not enough. 22 points is crazy. And look, I am still like I've been so critical. I've gotten this reputation of a whiner and a negative fan since I've started this platform. And to be honest, most years I have ended the season with a sour taste in my mouth as a fan since I started this podcast, this channel, whatever. But before I started this channel, I was not like that. So, not doing this just to prove that, but I really, even though we lost this game, the fact that I'm even able to say, Kawhi didn't play well enough in this playoff game and he's still healthy for tomorrow's game. Like that's a blessing. Like I just always wish that I could be doing this at least. You know what I mean? Like, yes, when he came, I thought championship, we had it, but just to be able to even talk about Kawhi playing in a playoff game for us, it's like, I don't know, after what we've been robbed of, it's pretty special that I even get to critique him, as insane as that sounds. But anyway, 22 points is not enough. And when you shoot 9 for 15 from the field, so it's very, very efficient, you've got to shoot more shots. 15 shots, 1 for 3 from deep, 3 for 3 from the foul line in 41 minutes. I mean, I do think that Harden was a better source of offense in this game. Him and Zoo in that, high pick and roll. It's bread and butter. It's looking like our best action. And I think that's something that's kind of, a little bit of a concern for me is closing games. What I was going to say is that the point I was trying to make about Jokic and Murray is that closing games, I really give them an advantage. I feel like we need to kind of pull away. And it's honestly not because of Harden. And a lot of it is because of Kawhi. I've had this skepticism about Kawhi closing games kind of since the bubble. That following year, if you go back, there were some games, I believe one against the Celtics, where I was like really grilling Kawhi. Would you guys be down for me to pull up that game? Like what I was saying about that game, or would that be unnecessary? I think it would be kind of interesting to see because I was criticizing him for like dribbling too much late in games, getting walled off, and not really making a quick decision about like whether he was going to pass, whether he was going to attack the gaps. And he would always end up taking a contested jumper that was deeper than what his sweet spot kind of is. More of like a Kobe type range, the long 2 foot in front of the line. But again, like Kawhi's a little better close. It's weird. Kawhi's like, I don't know what it is. He's a more efficient 3-point shooter than his idols, Kobe and Mike. He obviously practices it more given the era. But in the mid-range, it's hard to, I'm not going to compare their efficiencies in the mid-range because the spacing was so different and the level of physicality that perimeter was allowed back then is way different. Not way, it's significant. It's different. It's definitely not in favor of Kobe and Mike. But point being that Kawhi late in games, since he's been a Clipper, he seems to dribble a lot and not go quickly, allow the defense to load up, and then take a horrible contested shot, like deep, either a 3 or deep 2, and it just doesn't seem to go. And like those, I mean, I don't know if he's trying to be Kobe because that's what he used to do, but he used to make it sometimes, a lot of the time. I had some bozo 18-year-old the other day try to argue with me on Twitter that Kobe wasn't clutch because of clutch stats. Bruh. I watched him hit, I think it was 6 game winners in one season in 2010. And like, bro, I'm a Clipper fan. I'm watching games on local television. Like, it was insane. And again, clutch stats is a load of shit. You know what I mean? All that. But I'm going to say this from my eye test. Kawhi Leonard in the clutch for the Clippers has been a little sus. I know he made that game winner against the Kings. He also made that game winner against the Rockets his first year, and then that game winner against Charlotte. But Reggie Jackson has about as many game winners as him as a Clipper. Lou Williams had a couple. Paul George has had more. And I honestly remember what I used to say, Clipper Nation? I used to say that we should give the ball to Paul George late in games for the last shot, but Kawhi to close, because Kawhi is a smarter player, just better than Paul George. But that final shot, because of PG's size and his kind of fluidity, his ability to get off shots and make them late in games from anywhere on the court was greater. So I would want the ball in his hands at the end. It just feels like Kawhi runs out of legs to some degree. And now, and by the way, our late game offense with Kawhi and Paul George was never that good. I don't need stats to confirm that. It was take turns ISO when teams had good defensive lineups in and refs were letting stuff go so they can, get a little handier on the perimeter. And then Kawhi and Paul George could not get by a soul. And they were too tired to post up. So it didn't really work out a lot of the times. Like if you go back to those games against Utah, the ones that we lost, the first 2 games on the road, Paul George and Kawhi did not get us good looks and like good enough looks, or didn't make shots. And it was a consistent theme. And now I'm starting to feel a similar way about Harden, in the sense that he's actually a more reliable source of offense and a more reliable. Like, think about what Harden's already done in terms of late game shots since he's been here. He had that first time he won the vlog on this channel, that step back 3-4 point play against Houston. Within his first win, he made the game winner. He had that game against Sacramento that Kawhi made the game-winning shot. Harden brought us back in the game. And in this game, he made the game-tying shot that could have gone down as one of the biggest shots in the history of the Clippers if we had won the game. So this loss falls on Kawhi more than anyone, in my opinion, because the goal of the game from Ty Lue and the staff, take care of the ball. James Harden, who leads our team in turnovers, had only 2. 32 points, 6 rebounds, 11 assists. It's safe to say that good old Plumber Jim might have been our player of the game. Probably was. I would have to say I thought I went with Zubac, because James Harden still in the fourth quarter and overtime, because it wasn't just because he was in foul trouble, but he lost sight of his man, or was the guy that was supposed to rotate and didn't twice in the fourth quarter, didn't get 2 offensive rebounds. 2 defensive rebounds that led to them getting offensive rebounds. And even though he was in foul trouble in overtime, he got blown by Aaron Gordon and then reached. Okay, you got blown by because you don't want to foul, but you reached too. It could have been a foul. So Zubac just had less defensive miscues and moments. But Harden, I mean, credit to him. He made the big plays. He did enough to win this game for me. 32.6 rebounds, 11 assists. But who gives a fuck who you think is played better in a loss? Zubac didn't get the ball enough in the fourth quarter, like every game. We do the same thing that the Suns used to do to Ayton, where we just ignore our big man in the post in the fourth quarter because it's a perimeter league now. So we just can't feed bigs at the end. I know back, historically, you don't want to give your big man the ball late in games because if it's a free throw risk, Shaq, but like Wilt, Bill Russell, but Bill Russell's not really a go-to guy like that. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar that's why he has a case to be the greatest player of all time, a strong one. When one of the biggest reasons for me is he's already got the physical advantage, right? 7'2", lanky, athletic, and he can make free throws, and he can stretch it to about 15 feet. Like you've seen Kareem make game winners. Game 6, 1974 finals. The game against Magic's first game against us, San Diego Clippers, making that hook shot from the elbow. And then it was a game I watched during quarantine, 1980 against the Suns in the playoffs. Jab step from the elbow, pull, mid-range. Kareem was 7'2" back then. So, we're talking special. Zubac is not – he's not on that level, but he's not a horrible free throw shooter, and he's wildly efficient. And I'm not even talking about, the last play of the game. I'm talking about in the fourth quarter. He needs to be fed the ball. Perimeter league is not an excuse, not when he's doing what he's doing, and Jokic had 4 fucking fouls. There's got to be, at some point, an emphasis from the coaching staff, but it's a mix. You don't know, how – every single time down the floor, you're not going to get Ty Lue and the staff calling a play. These are NBA players. You trust James Harden and Kawhi Leonard to do the right things offensively, to make the right reads. And Kawhi Leonard, I mean, his processing time is so slow. He and Kevin Durant, as great of basketball players as they are, and by the way, we're going over to YouTube now. So if you're on Twitter, see ya, because we're disabling the feed. So please come to YouTube. That's where it's at. Thank you, Twitter people. But anyway, yeah, we got to feed Zoo. Oh, yeah, Kawhi's processing time. I was going to say about Kawhi and Kevin Durant. Kawhi and Kevin Durant, amazing, amazing scorers, but it's all the reads that they don't make. You know what I mean? It's the reads that they don't make and the passes that they don't get off in time. And then when they do make some passes, it's not the same, accuracy as some of the other great small forwards of all time. And it's been a consistent theme for Kawhi since he's been a Clipper. I noticed it on the finals when he won. He sometimes didn't release the ball. And I thought it was mainly just he didn't want to. He was just yeah, Kyle Lowry, one pass away. I kind of could pass to you, but I'd rather just kind of get mine because I'm Kawhi and it's the finals. And I respect that. He won, but it's pretty bad sometimes. He waits too long and he doesn't, again, late in the game in this one, get in the ball and just thinking too much. And he talked about it later. He's got to be a little more decisive, be in attack mode. When you're Kawhi Leonard and you catch the ball in some space one-on-one, teams are going to send help. They're not going to just let you be comfortable. So you got to go quick. And there's no one better than, and I've mentioned him already in this pod. I feel like with the Kawhi stuff, all his flaws, and he doesn't have many, he really doesn't, are all stuff that you can see from the players that he idolizes. That's the standard for the player that he likes to be. That two-way wing, 3 levels, post-game, mid-post, get to his midi. But he doesn't really get to his midi in a comfortable fashion late in games. And I think a lot of it's the knees, the legs. I think to a degree, because he doesn't take plays off on D like that. At all. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I really respect about Kawhi is he does not play. He's not a lazy defender in any sense. I do remember older Kobe. He was lazy on D. But there's no one better than Jordan when it comes to catching the ball and working quickly. You know what I'm saying? So and there were moments in this game, and he's playing with more spacing than any era of those guys. We're playing with lineups where he's the second tallest guy out there, and some where we're playing with 5 guys. Although the spacing, here's one thing I have to say about the spacing. Ben Simmons and Chris Dunn, particularly Ben Simmons, have to do a better job when Kawhi's getting doubled, when they're loading up. They're all leaving Chris Dunn and Ben Simmons. So you got to do exactly what Westbrook's doing and flash to open space and at least be a threat to score. Ben Simmons is playing a hide and go seek on the weak side when Kawhi's catching the ball on the wing and the whole defense is loaded up on him. So you're playing 4-on-5. So we need to get in his line of vision. Some of the turnovers are not totally his fault. But like when he's catching the ball against Christian Brown and he's got time to go, and then he waits for the defense to double, and then he steps backwards towards half court, and we don't get a good shot off, like that's not a turnover, but essentially it is. So, he's got to be better. He's got to be much better. And I think he will be better because it's Kawhi. But here's my thing. This series is not necessarily a Kawhi series in terms of what schematically looks great for us. I still think we're going to need him to score 25 plus points. But the Harden Zoo pick and roll might have to be our crunch time offense. Because, and here's one thing we really should just do. Get Jamal Murray switched on to James Harden because he has no chance. He had no chance in this game. Let's see what I'm missing, if I'm missing anything. As far as matchups, we knew Jokic was going to guard Zoo. We knew Christian Brown was going to take Harden. We knew Aaron Gordon was going to guard Kawhi, but you got to do a little bit of MPJ as well. And Kawhi, he's not getting by anybody, and he hasn't been like all season. Like he gets to his spots, and he was getting to his spots when he was scoring. Got a little bit of transition buckets, but late in game, we already know the deal. He's got to just try to catch the ball in the mid post and draw that double because we're not really getting doubles late in the game. And I mean, he's got to also be better passing out of them. They know that if they double Kawhi Leonard, we might not get a great shot because he's not moving it like that. He's not seeing the floor. So like when I was talking about Kawhi, like now on my channel, I can go off onto some slightly more historical tangents. Dude, when we're talking about all-time great small forwards, I think Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant can pass. But the thing is, they'll have like these one pass here and there that every couple of games where you'll be like, man, they're underrated passers. And they're both super high IQ. But and that last turnover on the sideline was ridiculous. The one that right before the Westbrook 3. And I'll talk about Westbrook too. But just losing the ball on the sideline. He and KD, like, I don't think they're better passers than obviously LeBron and Larry Bird. Julius Erving, definitely not. Because Doc is a dime dropper, low-key. If you actually watch the games, one day we'll get there, and I'll do some breakdowns on here, but like, oh my God. Havlicek, very good passer. I would definitely take him as a passer over those two. And I've seen a good amount of games from Havlicek at this point. If you guys want to link to these playlists, by the way, just DM me on Twitter, Instagram. Because I'm not just talking on my ass. I don't speak about players that I don't watch like that. So Rick Barry, like I would think he's a better passer from the small. I've too small sample size for me to say for sure, but from what I've heard in the small stuff I've seen, I mean, who else is there? Not Melo, definitely not Melo. I guess that's it because everybody else is not really on their level. Those are the only guys that I would consider like, oh, Elgin Baylor's definitely a better passer than them. I saw him throwing freaking like no look full court outlets damn near. So yeah, he's definitely a better passer than them. Behind the back passes, yeah, but they're still top 10 easily. In KD's case, top 5. But I think if Kawhi gets one more ring, I'd take him for sure over KD. But we'll see. One game at a time. Kawhi, I still have faith in Kawhi that's going to come back next game and ball, but I just think that James Harden and Zoo have a distinct advantage in this series. Murray started the game on Norm, and I haven't mentioned him yet, but Norm was just not good enough, and he hasn't been good enough since he's come back from injury. 5 for 12 in the field, 12 points, and 4 assists. I will take the 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, but 4 turnovers. He doesn't even handle the ball that much. There was one time where he also like just doesn't swing the ball fast enough, missed several open teammates, and then like the pass like slips out of his hands and leads to them scoring. So that was in the first quarter. But as far as, let's see. And then as far as what we were going to do, Zoo on Jokic, we knew we were going there. We actually went with Harden on Aaron Gordon to start the game because, Harden is a good rebounder, good lower body strength. He's a good post defender, so Gordon can't bully him. But it hurt us on the glass. especially late in the game, honestly, because if Harden's not going to jump on rebounds, I mean, he needs to really put his, not to sound weird, but like he needs to put his butt into Aaron Gordon and really push him as far away from the basket as possible. Because if you get into just like a jumping contest with Aaron Gordon, even if you're like Harden was there was a moment in overtime or it was in the fourth quarter, I think, where he boxed him out, but he didn't like keep hitting him and pushing him away from the basket, so he couldn't just jump freely. He was able to just jump up in the air, and like you're essentially getting into a vertical contest with James Harden and Aaron Gordon, and James Harden's already a couple inches shorter than him. So I don't know about that next game. I would prefer to go with Kawhi guarding Aaron Gordon for the most part, and have Harden guard Christian Brown, and then have just Norm Chase MPJ around. MPJ, by the way, was a non-factor completely. We took him out of the game, and Westbrook ended up being the one closing. And look, man, credit to Russ. Insane effort plays. He had his fair share of boneheaded plays going early in the shot clock on fast breaks when they could have pulled it out and wasted some time. I mean, some of the stuff he does is mind-boggling, and it's not going to fly later in the playoffs if they're lucky enough to beat us. But everybody knows I'm a Westbrook fan. Like, that's my guy. But that's why he's not going to win a ring, because, and you can quote me on that one. And I love Russ. Again, I say the same thing about Paul George and Harden. So like every one of them, if they prove me wrong, I will take my L and apologize. But that's just my opinion that they're not going to win a ring. I mean, I know Harden's on the Clippers, but I'm not going to change my conviction just because he's a fan. Like, it's about basketball, and I believe certain things. Now, I could be wrong. I'd love to be wrong. Not about Westbrook, though. Love the guy, though. But the point I was going to make was this motherfucker has the same energy in the fourth quarter that he does in the first quarter. And it's just amazing, his athleticism and his pop late in games. His ability to go get those offensive rebounds. It kind of reminded me of game one against the Suns when we played for us in 2023. And we can't get away with just not treating him like he's a basketball player. And I saw that was obviously done by us, and Chris Dunn, was making it very clear that the strategy was to leave Westbrook open when Jokic or Murray had the ball and just hard double. But I think that we in the next game, we should just only leave him open when he's in the corner and the wings behind the three. But we should not double unless we're compromised defensively, or like Jokic has got it foul line or closer against Chris Dunn, Bogey, or Norm. If he's against Harden or Kawhi, stay home. Everyone else, we shouldn't just be doubling Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic in the middle of the floor. Westbrook can catch the ball. If Westbrook flashes in the middle, which he was doing, because look, we know what Westbrook, when engaged, can be. And when he's engaged, he's going to give you his all. He will lose you a game, and he will win you a game. We, in my opinion, fucked up and made it so that the narrative is that he won. But I'm a Clipper fan, so I'm gonna look at it from our perspective. But Westbrook did win him the game in terms of, obviously, I'm not even saying he's the player of the game, but he made some huge plays. The deflection at the end, we didn't even get a shot off, man. Nico's can't be throwing that pass. But Harden, I get he had the fouls, but he's got to get his body in front of Russ a little bit. That's not enough just sticking your arm out like that. Westbrook does not shy away from the physicality. You know what I'm saying? Those rebounds are very frustrating. And if Westbrook's going to flash the middle of the floor like that, he's going to make some plays. And that three was so annoying. I mean, Kawhi turning the ball over is just ridiculous. But anyway, we had Kawhi on MPJ, Chris Dunn on Jamal Murray, and Norman Powell on Christian Brown. I talked about Jokic hedging and getting cooked, offered absolutely no resistance and drop. Zoo got off to a great start in the game, 8 points in the first quarter. Finishing around the basket, making great plays out of the short roll. Chris Dunn was doing good stuff as well. Cutting baseline, hitting the corner three. Murray was making, really early in the game, was making some tough shots, but I was like, man, we're contesting these. It's perfectly fine. As I said, Harden started cooking. Nuggets responded with a 10-0 run, but Harden had a 15-point first quarter, had that buzzer beater to end the first, absolute bucket. I was interested to see, are we going to go small with Joker in the game? And we did. We went 9 deep with Ben Simmons, Bogey, no Amir Coffey. Ben Simmons, Bogey, Derek, and Nico. I thought Nico was great. I thought Derek was solid. I thought Ben Simmons was garbage. First half, I actually thought he was pretty good. He was pushing the pace. It wasn't bad when we were up 51-36. But in the second half, I just thought that when Kawhi got doubled, he was acting like he didn't want any part of the ball, and that was hurting our offense. And I mean, he switched on to Jamal Murray and like barely even contested him when it's like fourth quarter Murray. He's already made a three. Like, what are you doing? He just has no confidence anymore. And I said that when we got him, he showed it in Brooklyn. And I don't know if it's because he lost confidence in his body because of the injuries or because Philly bullied him because he didn't go up for a layup or a dunk against the Hawks in Game 7 in 2021. But he's not the same. I don't think he's ever going to be the same because the change of scenery, hasn't really helped. He's still the same Ben Simmons. He should honestly not be getting that many minutes. The game is about confidence. This is the same guy that was the number 1 pick in the draft. He should be in his prime right now. Like, and people had the audacity to compare him to Magic. Like, those people should not talk basketball anymore. I have sympathy for some people. I think that some people should just not talk basketball. But anyway, yeah, let's see what else we got. When we were playing really well, we were letting Russ brick. It was everything looked great. Nico and Derrick Jones Jr.'s defense was awesome. Nico was getting offensive rebounds. We had 34 paint points. 34 out of 51 at one point. We were cooking. 11-0 run for Denver, though, after they took this timeout in the middle of the second quarter. They were all over us. All over us. But it was really, a lot of it was self-inflicted, too. Like, there's two sides to every coin. They came out with more intensity defensively when they came out of that timeout. But we were just, loosey-goosey with the ball and missed some shots. And then they were able to get out in transition, get back in the game. So, that's how it was. But the Kawhi, ISOs and not working quickly enough, that started in, the second quarter to me, based on my notes. Norm, there was no stretch of the game where I thought he was very good. We had 7 turnovers in the second quarter. So if you want to look at a quarter that started the bad momentum, it was kind of that one. But we were still up 4 at the half. We were up 35-27 after 1. And then we got outscored 22-18 in the second. 18. That's not good enough. But, we were up 53-49 at half. Third quarter, pretty low scoring. I thought Zoo was pretty good. Kawhi Leonard sat the last 5 minutes and 24 seconds of the third. So that's a lot, low key. People were asking me on Twitter, is he hurt? What's going on? I guess they were trying to just save him for the entire fourth. And I honestly, I'm fine with that strategy. But maybe 5 minutes and 24 seconds is a little too risky. It's going to be definitely a little risky. Because had the game ended in regulation, he would have only had played 36 minutes. We got to have a little more than that. It's the playoffs, dude. We save him for this. So, I'm sorry. Harden was in foul trouble, and that was kind of hurting us. Look, this is my platform, so I can say whatever the fuck I want. James Harden, there were moments where when they were at the basket, the Nuggets, he didn't want to foul. I had no problem with that. But that's not an excuse for losing sight of man and ball. It's not an excuse for the rebounding stuff. So, he wasn't perfect either. I don't think anybody was. We lose as a team and win as a team. Was he the best? Yeah, you can say that. Did he do his job? Absolutely. But in the grand scheme of things, it's about doing the little things that help you win games, and we did not. Bogdanovich, what the hell did he do? Bogey, love him. What did he do, though? 0 for 3, missed all his threes. All the shots were threes. He was 0 for 3. A donut. Him and Ben Simmons had a donut. We had 13 points off the bench. Westbrook himself had 15 off the bench. Nuggets went 8 deep. Peyton Watson, Westbrook, Jalen Pickett. And Jalen Pickett only played 5 minutes, so it was really just Westbrook and Peyton Watson. Russ had 15 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, just 1 turnover on 5 for 17 shooting, 2 for 6 from 3. and 3 for 4 from the foul line. So inefficient, but made big plays to help you win the game. And it's just about the little things, man. No rebounds, no rings. There's no excuse for the lack of boxing out. Kawhi Leonard didn't box out on the first one that Westbrook got the rebound and gave him the lead. There was James Harden. There was Chris Dunn multiple times. Multiple times. No one's off the hook. Zubac twice ball watching. So, yeah, no one's perfect. Same thing applies to Zoo that I said about Harden. It's just that Harden's an all-time great. So, like, we're talking about it and it matters. That's a respect level. Kawhi, no excuses for him. So, if Harden gives us that production theoretically for the series, he's doing his part and then some. But everybody needs to be better doing the little things. It's going to take a lot to beat this team, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a joke. We have all the matchup stuff, but winning I'm sorry. Pulling the Clippers for a sec. Winning in Denver is difficult. And you're going to have to really do some of the little things for 4 quarters. You're not going to have to be perfect the entire game, but you're going to have to play and be locked in for 4 quarters to beat them. Now, what else do I get? Yeah, Bogey wasn't giving us anything. But when the Nuggets were missing so many chippies, I was like, even with Bogey and Norm not giving us anything, and even with Kawhi playing like this, we need to win this game. Chris Dunn, there were some moments in the third, and in the third quarter, we only scored 22 points. We got outscored 23-22. And it's partially because he was like second guessing his open shots, whether it be around the basket or on the 3-point line. I don't know why. I do know why. It's because sometimes he lacks confidence in his offense, but like, it's going to hurt us. He's got to shoot. And by the way, when we look at the minutes, I talked about we can't be so married to Chris Dunn over Derek. 31 minutes for Chris, 24 for Derek. I think we need to start making a transition, but Chris Dunn's defense is so valuable. It's just, I was saying stuff like that, and then he comes out and makes that play to steal the ball and then leads to Harden making that 3 to make it a 1-point game in overtime. But like, he makes plays like that on defense that make you think, fuck, like he should stay in the game. But I don't know. I'm taking Derrick Jones Jr. late in games. Like, I think we should start leaning in that direction. I've been saying that for months now, though. One thing I will give us for the majority of the game is that every time they were about to tie it, we ended up making a big shot. Nico Batum made a couple big ones. By the way, this is definitely noteworthy. Why the hell did Ty and the staff go with no Kawhi and Harden to end the second and third quarter? That's bizarro activity and very dangerous. Neither time did we outscore them in those stretches. If anything, I can say that it didn't completely sink us, but that's very risky behavior. I don't know what we're thinking. Cannot be doing that. Extra added rest, I guess. Anyway, fourth quarter, Kawhi in the beginning of it was actually making me optimistic because he got going. He had that nice dunk in transition, but overall, when he got doubled, just not doing enough, not getting rid of it quickly enough, not seeing the open man. Same stuff we've been talking about. Jamal Murray was making some big shots. Nico was making some big shots. Zoo, by the way, was out from the 2:27 mark of the third to the 7:12 mark of the game of the fourth quarter, or remaining in the game, fourth quarter. About 7 minutes of rest of NBA minutes. That means how many actual minutes of time? A lot. Sketch. We can't be doing that. Zoo's got to play more. Let's see how many minutes he would have played had he not played overtime. 34. Excuse me? 34? So he ended up playing 39. That's not good enough. He's got to play more. It was 87-81 Clippers. I didn't think we had it in the bag, but I was like, okay, we got to win this game. And then there was a really bad sequence of events. It began with Harden losing sight of Christian Brown for a layup, made it a 1-point game. And then we got into quick high pick and roll or a double drag, one of the two. Basically the same principle, though. High ball screens for Harden. and we didn't have a pass or anything like that. And he went kind of quick. He got bumped a little bit, but he lost the ball off his knee. And I think we just got to slow it down there, calm down, take some time off the clock. But, I'm always pro pass, or I think every action that we run should start with like having Kawhi or Norm try to get free off the ball. And then if that blows up or we don't have anything immediately, we go out and the Harden and Zoo run pick and roll. I just don't like the possessions where we just come down and immediately run Harden and Zoo pick and roll, because for some reason it's not fast, where we're not getting a ton of those. It's always kind of methodical, and we do end up getting a good shot. But if no one's touching the ball besides Harden on some possessions, or just those two, I don't know. It's not keeping everybody in rhythm. I'm not saying we were doing too much of that in game one. It's funny because throughout, Harden's, that career with Houston, I was like, oh my God, all they run is Harden, high pick and roll. It's ridiculous. It's repetitive. Eventually, it's not going to work. But we should run more, because at least late in game, because we're getting great. It's mainly in this series, because we're going to get great looks with. Jokic, he's flat-footed a lot in these pick and roll actions, and their point of attack defense isn't very good. But Harden lost the ball out of bounds, and then Derrick Jones Jr. went underneath Jamal Murray's screen, and it's like Jamal Murray. You know what I'm saying? He's making threes. Hits the three. He did get pushed in the back by Jokic, though, I will say. And they didn't call anything. And I did not think we got a good whistle in this game. It was a home-centric whistle. Not blaming it on the refs, though. But it was a home-centric whistle. And, that's to be expected. I just hope we get the get back into it. Murray hit that three, though, and then we had an early shot clock pick and roll again that James Harden ended up jump passing and nearly having a backcourt violation, and then ended up getting it back, and it was dribble, going nowhere. Threw it to Nico, who had a ridiculous left wing three. Ridiculous. But then on the other end, Nico doubled in the middle of the floor, one pass away versus the Joker. And honestly, we cannot be doing that. That's what I talk about when I'm saying doubling when it's not at when our defense isn't really compromised. Harden against Jokic is a mismatch, but Harden's a good post defender. His back is to the basket. You don't want to double in the middle of the floor with the best passing center the game has ever seen, arguably. I would consider him. I've seen enough Wilt Chamberlain tape for me to say that Jokic is a better passer than him, I think, but it's just so unfair to Wilt because of the lack of tape. But yes, I think Jokic has to be a better passer than him, right? He has to be. But I want to just show respect, because it's kind of impossible to know. But Jokic, point being, doubling him in the middle of the floor, terrible idea. Aaron Gordon made a three. And then Kawhi was doubled, got pushed out to like half court. Nico missed a three. On the other end, Russ got an offensive rebound. Kawhi Leonard did not get the inside position, and he gave them the lead. And then Nico did not shoot a shot underneath the basket. He needs to shoot when he's open and he's underneath the basket. And then Derrick Jones Jr., when Nico passed it to Derrick, missed the chippy. We ended up taking the lead again. Chris Dunn unnecessarily doubled off of Westbrook when I believe it was Zoo was still in front of Jokic, and Kawhi didn't rotate at all. Russ got a wide open layup to give him the lead again. And then there was another bad Kawhi ISO when we should have probably gone to Harden Zoo pick and roll. There was one time in overtime where Harden was like cooking Murray, and then he wanted Kawhi to go at Murray at the elbow, and we just didn't need to. We shouldn't have done that, because Harden was the one that had it cooking. But I marked down the culprits of the offensive rebounds that they got. Kawhi on the first one, Harden on the second. Nobody boxed out on the next one. Another one where everybody was ball watching on Jokic's floater. And then Chris Dunn just completely not putting a body on Westbrook. But yeah, the Zoo pick and roll with Harden ended up giving us the lead 96-95. Kawhi lost the ball. That killed us. Russ hit a three. Harden had a beautiful game-tying shot. Last play of the game, Westbrook. We doubled down on the strategy by doubling off of Westbrook again. And then Russ didn't swing the ball to Aaron Gordon. Didn't see him. Didn't even get a shot off. And the Clippers went with Chris Dunn closing. I was fine with that, but I don't think Norman Powell honestly should be a guaranteed closer every game with the way it's going. He doesn't do anything else. He's not making shots. We could consider going with Derek and Chris. And they will still be funneling shots to Chris, but he still gives us so much defensively that it might be enough. Nico's an option as well. But yeah, I don't know why James Harden wasn't just going at Jamal Murray in the pick and roll every single time. There was one time in overtime he had a turnover where it was Aaron Gordon and Jokic guarding the pick and roll. We don't want Aaron Gordon at the point of attack. We want him away, even though he's probably better, low man rotating at the rim than on the point of attack. We just don't want anybody good at defense at the point of attack. We want Jamal Murray. We want, these other guys, mainly Murray. I still think he has the, what's it called? Harden. Thank you, Daniel Barry. I really appreciate that super chat. But I think that Harden can get by Christian Brown, no problems. And then, of course, MPJ is another one we can just expose when it comes to Harden. But rebounds, Chris Dunn, James Harden, Kawhi, they didn't do a good enough job late in the game. Everybody. So that's the loss, man. That's it right there. We lose game one, and hopefully it's not a game we look back at and we're like, fuck, that cost us the series. 112 to 110 is the final. We got outscored 26-23 in the fourth and 14-12 in OT. Not getting a shot off the end stings. Bogey played 12 minutes and had a donut. That was unacceptable. He needs to be much better. I talked about him being the X factor in the regular season. He needs to be better. Ben Simmons needs to be better, or we got to just play him like 6 minutes. Derek Jones Jr., 4 points, 4 rebounds, 1 steal, 2 blocks, no turnovers on 1 for 4 shooting and 0 for 1 from deep. Made both his free throws. I thought he was good. I think he deserves more minutes. Nico, 3 for 6 from the field. All his shots were threes. 9 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers on in 24 minutes. I think Nico, this is a series for him to be great, and he's off to a good start. The starters: Chris Dunn, 10 points, 3 boards, 1 dime, 1 steal, 1 block, no turnovers. So really solid stat line on 50, 40, no free throws attempted, splits. 4 for 8 from the field and 2 for 5 from 3 in 31 minutes. Thought he was great. But having him late in the game, it's a little shaky. But he was, in all things considered, he was pretty good. But he got a rebound, though. No excuses for that. Then you have the big four. Norman Powell's making it a big 3 right now, the way he's playing. He needs to be much better. 12 points, 3 boards, 4 dimes, 1 steal, 1 block, 4 turnovers on 5 for 12 shooting, 2 for 6 from 3, and only 1 free throw attempt that he missed. So not good enough at all, and I expect better, and I think we'll get better. Zubac played 39 minutes, which is not enough in a game where we went to overtime. He had 21 and 13 and was still not fed late in the game. 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 turnovers on 66% shooting, 10 for 15. 1 for 4 from the foul line, though. That's not good enough. He needs to at least, if he had made even 1 more, could have changed the game. Zubac gets no passes either. James Harden, 13 strippers. James Harden, it was a fantastic performance. 32 points, 6 boards, 11 dimes, 1 block, just 2 turnovers, 11 for 22 shooting, 4 for 9 from 3, and made all 6 of his free throws. He was great. 43 minutes too. And then Kawhi, not good enough. 22 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, 3 steals, 7 turnovers on 9 for 15 shooting. He's got to shoot more, even if they're loading up or doubling. No, they're not hard doubling, which a lot of times they're not. They're just loading up. Bro, get to your spot and pull up. 1 for 3 from 3, 3 for 3 from the foul line. We shot 50% from the field, 36% from 3, 75% from the foul line. They shot just 44% from the field, 33% from 3, 78% from the foul line, but they shot 11 more free throws and 8 more shots. That's turnovers, and that's offensive rebounds that we allowed right there. Peyton Watson had just 6 points. MPJ had 3 points on 1 of 4 shooting. Christian Brown played really well, though. And it's like, if our strategy is to limit the others, we didn't do a good enough job of that. And a lot of that's because we're doubling in the middle of the floor, but there's still no answer for that pick and pop. There truly isn't. The Murray Jokic one, we were switching it, and then that causes a double because we don't trust whoever to switch down to Jokic to guard him. So I'm thinking maybe we just stay home and let Jokic play over the top. We could try to put Kawhi on Murray, so then he's switching on a Jokic. but it's no great solution either way. Speaking of Murray, he had 21 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists, but he shot really poorly, 7 for 20, 3 for 7 from 3, 4 of 5 from the foul line. I thought he was still overall good because the way he closed. Jokic, 29, 9, and 12. 29 points, 9 rebounds, 12 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, 2 turnovers on 12 for 24 shooting, 1 for 4 from 3, and 4 for 6 from the foul line. It all starts and ends with Jokic. He is the best player in the world, but he's still exploitable on defense. And again, I think watching this game only made me further think that SGA is the MVP. I haven't watched the Thunder game, so don't kill me because I know he didn't play well apparently. But the defensive stuff matters, and the Nuggets are a bad defensive team in part because of Joker. And I love Joker. Aaron Gordon, man, he played great. 25 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals on 8 for 14 shooting, 1 for 3 from deep, and 8 for 10 from the foul line. We got to limit him a little more, and he played very well. So that's it for the Clippers portion of this video. Now, honestly, we'll answer some comments on top of the Lakers after that. We're still talking about the Lakers, though, ladies and gentlemen. I am really thirsty, but you know what? Fuck it. We'll just go. All right, don't comment for a sec, guys. Can you give me some time not to comment? Cool, thank you. It's roughly equal trouble considering seeding in last year's Western Conference semifinals. Evidently, Lakers and JJ are not prepared to compete. Amina San says, if Norm continues to struggle, should we look to can him out of the lineup entirely? No, of course not. What? Maybe. Oh, you're talking about starting lineup? Maybe start Nico. Uzair Khan, my man. Uzair Khan. Ben Borlier. What's up, brother? Starting 5 should be Harden, Kawhi, Nico, Derrick Jones Jr., and Zoo. 2 minutes. Dos. Mike Biamonte, one of the best in the business. What's going on? 4KT Karam, late as hell, but I like it. Why is Ben Simmons scared to play? He could take Gordon out the series. Why do you think he could take Gordon out the series? You think he's good enough for that? Kawhi turnover with 32 seconds left against was the most frustrating possession. Kyle's takes. I will talk about your Warriors a little bit, yes. Of course, we'll understand if you didn't watch a lot of Warriors games. I understand that Houston is the 3rd to 6th best player in the series, but having the 2 best player in the series matters a lot more, and today showed it. Tell that to the Lakers, though, Kyle, or do they have the 2 best? Didn't look like it in game 1. Jorge Mercado, are you on Twitter, Jorge Mercado? Mercado, are you? Late night time. We keep turning the ball over on inbound plays, too. Let Jokic score 40, and our bench needs to beat theirs. Yeah, too late for that. DB, morning. Without Harden, we don't even get OT. Okay, and Ben is horrible. He used to be one of my favorite players. Yep, all 6 of those game winners. What's up, Showtime Nick? Andrew Kassar. What's going on, Andrew Kassar? Clippers taking over Los Angeles. Yeah, with the loss? Come on, bro. Honestly, I feel like Harden should close over Kawhi because Kawhi runs out of gas too much. This series is going 6 at least. Even if we win this series, OKC looks like a better team next round. Yeah. That 18 needs to start getting his info from social media. This applies to everything, not just sports. Never get your info from social media. That to that norm, and which led to a fast break dunk in that first quarter for Christian Brown. You want to smash my TV. T-Wolves look good. Anthony Edwards is a dog. Dumb-ass schemes. They're going to continue to double Jokic and get burnt. Kawhi has to play like the franchise player. With such stats, you still blame Harden? Yeah, absolutely, because stats are not the end-all, be-all, and it's about winning the game. So if you had plays that were detrimental in the course of you winning a game for your team in a team sport, remember, team sport, doesn't matter your stats, then yes, you get some blame. He gets the least amount, but he was not perfect. And it's not like 1 or 2 mistakes. It's a couple of things. You know what I'm saying? So don't give me that shit. I don't make excuses. Yeah, relax. Sensitive ass fucking Stan. They beat us at our lowest. Harden is focused. Jokic doing hocus pocus. Clippers in 6. If I was the Lakers, I won't trade 80 for Luca. 80. We'll see about that in 5 years. Nas Reed playing like Dirk. Big Zoo's like Ben Wallace. More touch, but not as good a defender, an athlete. Also, if you were wondering why both Harden were out at the same time due to them being in foul trouble, okay. How you feeling after game 1? I'm feeling good. Like you're saying, we need you to be more involved. Yeah, I'm feeling all right. Certified dime late night stream. This Clippers reminds me of 04 Pistons, bunch of junkyard dogs. I love night stream, by the way. Keep doing that. Appreciate that. Kawhi just seems too overconfident in the clutch, and it just doesn't work. Our bench can't have less points than Westbrook. Playoff series are long, and the bench becomes more important as you move on, especially if Russ is taking over the crowd late in the game. Oh, thanks for coming on Twitter. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Ben Simmons can't be played in the playoffs. I'm going to game 3. Going to be my first ever Clipper game. Wow, absolutely. You should see me there. What's up, Dime? Excited for game 2. I'll be at the watch party monitor after class. See you there. Let's go. That Tom? Why was Bogey so nervous in game 1? He's not into the playoffs. I don't know. Kawhi's 33, not that young. What's going on? Mavs fan here. Hope Kawhi stays healthy for the rest of the playoffs. Man, these matchups are lit. Good luck. Thank you, Morris. Thank you. Yep, team is lazy and just stand around. Are you on Twitter, Playoff LAC? I agree. It's a Zeus series, James Harden series. I think Batum did amazing. James should cook Murray and post him up. I don't think James is going to post him up. Kawhi will speed up his hand and reduce the turnovers. That's enough to win in 6. Big Zeus should post up Joker and dunk on him, make Joker fall to the floor and stare him down. Yep, Clippers need to up their game a bit, and they're good to win in 6. Says Kawhi, one more ring, top 15 all time. Winning a title for the Clippers is more than one title for have. Yeah, I feel that. A Clippers title, all flights must have emergency landing. I want James Harden to win a ring, but it's tough. Funny, when Kawhi finally healthy, the competition is hard in the West this year. It's always tough in my lifetime. What if they use Eubanks and Zule? No, don't even start with Eubanks. They just need to put more effort on getting the rebounds. Overall, I would say we lost this game more than Denver won this game. I would agree. Time to play Patty Mills in clutch time. I trust Patty Mills for a big shot. Yeah, right. Todd, what's going on? Your Rockets almost. We'll be talking about them a little later. You guys are still on here. Why not? Dime, we might be screwed if we don't win tomorrow. Yeah, I know. I think Denver will play tomorrow, but I agree, but we can play better. Why not? He made big shot for Spurs. It's 10 years later. Clippers are way better off than the Lakers. What happened to our offense down the stretch? What always seems to happen? We get stagnant. Yesterday was our chance. We literally beat ourselves. They didn't do anything special. Unacceptable. Lakers after LeBron is a shit show. Really? You see in the future? Man, Bogey was struggling a bit too. Ben need to look at the rim. Hookah, Luca, and Aston Reeves. The NBA is laughing at that. Ben is scared. Zoo needs to play 38-plus minutes. If Bogey keeps struggling, some for Patty Mills. I don't know about that. Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth about comparing loser-ass Ben Simmons to Magic. Late night hoops talk. That's what it's all about. Thank you, Nick. Go Dodgers. Ben Simmons does a good job. He needs to lock down on defense. We'll see. The turnovers are unforced. They had nothing to do with Denver, in my opinion. You and I both know Magic was great at posting up. Ben Simmons' post game is as terrible as his shooting. It's not actually. It's a little better than his shooting, I'd say. Bulgogi Bogey. Is that what he is for the other team? Is Bulgogi? Because they cook him all the time. Clippers need tomorrow or cooked. Yeah, also, yes, facts. Magic's free throw percentage. We'll be lucky to win this round. No one thought this would be a sweep. Still confident we can win this series. Just need to get Y going. I agree. We're losing to OKC next round. If we lose next game, we'll either pull the trigger on Kawhi's confidence or okay, relax. We're saying stuff like that. Bogey would have fought for those rebounds, though. What makes you say that? Yeah, he did flop big time on Chris Dunn. Ty Lue really cost us this game. DJJ needs to start over Chris Dunn. DJJ is a slashing/offensive rebound threat. Sometimes Ty Lue looks lost. Bad Ty Lue performance. Tyler really cost us this game. Besides Kawhi, of course. Shout out Batum, though. Harden, Kawhi, DJ, Zoo, and Batum. Batum 3 was crazy with that hand in his face. Harden needs to be the closer instead of Kawhi. Why do we stop attacking Jokic? I don't know. We stopped attacking Murray and Jokic. Once OKC wins this series, they'll be tied with Clippers with series wins since we acquired Kawhi. 1 a.m. Easter Sunday live. Damn right. Second half, they barely used the pick and roll. The shit had my heart pounding. The officiating was bad across the board. I feel Russ was getting clobbered just as much as he was missing. Really? What changed in the first half? Clippers were getting whatever they wanted. I think a little more stagnant. Denver's defense was better, and Kawhi was not making good enough reads. And Ben Simmons wasn't great. He was shying away from the ball more. Time mentioned about the doubling and said the issue was the timing mostly. Norm had his blinders on. Of course, yeah, that's how I operate. It's also an unfair comparison because the space and passing opportunities that Jokic has that Wilt couldn't dream of. That's true, too. Nuggets became a little more aggressive, but most of the stuff that changed was self-deflecting because of turnovers, not using the pick and roll, not hustling for rebounds. Go Lakers. Okay, is it time to talk about the Lakers? I think it is. Dime, do you feel fatigue came into play in the Nuggets out hustling us? I mean, maybe, but like I can't tell for sure. It's not an excuse. Even if we get past the best in the world with Kawhi healthy, I don't think we can win that unless Zubac really happens. How do you feel about Coffee getting minutes if Bogey's off? I don't mind. This is going to be a dogfight. We're old as fuck already. OKC looks unbeatable. Clippers ship sinks against the Thunder. Makes sense. Spence, what's going on, Spence? Don't bring in Spence. Make sure. Try to get you guys in there. Spence. Amir needs minutes. He's 40% from 3. Not sure why he's in the doghouse. Defense, I think they don't trust him. Second round is still a good season. What up, Dime? Nuggets versus Thunder would be a great series. Stop that. If anybody else in on MPJ, I think Kawhi and MPJ are going to take advantage. We'll see about that. I don't see him as that. Yo, Dime, what's good, bro? Denver fan here. Love your work. Thanks, man. Appreciate that a lot. I need more Nuggets fans. If Bogey playing like this, we need to bench him and use Patty Mills. I don't know about that Patty Mills shit, guys. He's old. I think the novelty of just having a playoff series and into it won't last if we crash and burn before we ever see the ship sail. Okay, relax. It's going to be electric the other day. At least somebody from LA won over the weekend. Go Dodgers. Yeah, I feel that. Yes, sir. Honestly, Harden needs to be more assertive in the clutch. I kind of agree. But it's like I feel him because he wants to defer to Kawhi because Kawhi's the guy. It's like that's the one thing about our team is we have not played enough close games with those two, in my opinion, to know what our best source of offense is at the end of games. Is it the Zoo Harden pick and roll because it involves both of them, or is it the Kawhi ISO? I think right now it looks like the Harden Kawhi or the Harden Zoo pick and roll. Is the title window closed? No comment. Big picture, I cannot imagine us beating OKC. They've got like 8 players to throw at him, and he's got to already fight through this series. Yeah. If Bogey keeps playing like this, we need to bench him and use Patty Mills. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think then, oh yeah, you already read that. Dom R says, what's up, Dime? OKC fan here. It's a long series. Keep the faith. I have OKC fans. Motivational moves. You're the GOAT, Dime. Well, thank you. Aslan Ilyasa, my guy. Turkish brother. Those dudes by Batum were insane. Rene Karate. Let's get a dub against Denver. Yes, sir. DJJ should start overdone because he's an offensive rebounding threat. Yeah, I agree with all that. Take a beer. You deserve it. Thank you. Love you, Dime. Thank you. We're not even. All right, I think it's Laker time. I went to college with Harden. Dime the GOAT. Chill, Dime. Stan's got to live too. Shout it. It's BS. Zoo was snubbed from Depoy. The OKC game just made me feel like Jokic's MVP. They were destroying the Grizz without him. Like Jokic clips are clapping everyone all game. Yeah, I don't know. You said Zubac is better than Jokic. When did I say that? Dodgers Empire? Don't be tripping on me if you're a Dodger fan, bro, because I'm a Dodger fan. Time to go. Thank you, man. That's you. They went to the Sweet 16s last season. Rockets were embarrassing. Ben is going to go off. This goes and shut all these haters up. He has the ability to draw attention to the post and free up the 3. Yeah, sure. You think Harden can guard Gordon? I told you he can't. When did you say anything? Dodgers Empire. Relax. Do we still leave Russ open? Depends where he's at on the court. Clips in 5. Yes, Emily, clips in 5. Not worried. Nuggets played the game of their lives and won by 2. Clippers in 5. Love it. Natalia Del Valle says Nuggets played amazing and played their best game ever. We barely won. Not a good look. They did not play their best game ever, though. I don't know why you're saying that. Clippers title by 2050. Please. Hope I'm alive then. Zoo needs to be used as roaming, and DJJ / Harden needs to play D on Jokic. Yes, you should pull up to the watch party tomorrow. Yup, Nuggets had their best game ever and barely won. They did not, guys. Why are you guys saying this? We got to take advantage of Jokic and Murray's defense. Okay, it's time for the Lakers. Kind of. Oh, thank you. You should. All right, it's Laker time. Met you at the Bulls game, Dime. Huge fan. Thank you, Joshua. What Bulls game? Oh, are you in the vlog? Okay, Kawhi always seems to hold and catch the ball at the three-point line in the clutch instead of going to his mid-range spots. All right, guys, I'm going to talk about the Lakers real quick for the Laker fans. So this will be fun, though. If you hate the Lakers, I mean, this will be a fun little to listen to. Okay, let's get serious for a sec. Lakers, Timberwolves. Now, I want to be very, very candid. Very candid. The last time I watched the Minnesota Timberwolves play basketball this season was, man, the last NBA game I watched in my house before it burned was Wolves Clippers, January 7th. January 6th, I legitimately have not watched them play a game since then. Not one. So I'm completely out of the loop when it comes to how well they played. Completely, like the second half of the season. Because I remember the beginning of the half of the season, they looked like, oh my God, how'd they make this trade? DiVincenzo was playing like shit. Ant-Man was taking a much higher volume of threes. He was complaining about the spacing publicly, and he called them soft. But then they responded, and they looked good whenever we played them, we as in the Clippers. But the Lakers, if you look at my content, I did some post-game recaps right when they got Luca. Because, for those that don't know, a lot of people that are like recently subscribed to me, guys, I've been doing Laker post-game lives since I was beginning this channel. And it was always my dream, if I'm going to watch Laker games on TV, because I grew up doing that, because we have two teams and I love basketball. And the Lakers always, growing up, it was because they had also like Kobe. I wanted to watch a great player. But now they have LeBron and Luca. So, it's always talk of the town stuff. So, and I love basketball. So I watched their games. So I was like, if I'm going to watch their games and talk about it, why not do it for the biggest fan base, even though I don't root for them? So for those that are new to the channel, I tend to remind people, because some Clipper fans just hate the Lakers so much they can't even hear me talk about it, which is fine. But I have a lot of great Laker fans that follow me, that have built my platform up to what it is, and that are true LA fans. So, I really appreciate them. And I really do like making the Laker content because I feel like I'm less emotional about it. But anyway, man, oh man. I haven't watched a Laker game since, let's see. I have not watched a Laker game since the game against Denver. I think it was like I watched the end of the game against us. That was the last game I watched against us on March 2nd. I haven't watched a Laker game in over a month. So I just picked the Lakers because I'm like, they're the higher seed. They have Luca and LeBron. They have the two best players in the series. Well, actually, if we're talking playoffs and regular season, I don't think LeBron was better than Ant last year. I don't. I really don't. And I think in 2023 it was debatable as well, but LeBron's team went further in the playoffs. But Ant didn't have Karl-Anthony Towns for so much of the season, and he played great in the playoffs. Got a game off the Nuggets. So honestly, but Luka showed that he was better than Ant-Man last year in the playoffs to me. But regardless, I might have overestimated LeBron and Luka and completely underestimated the Wolves. I watched game 1 and I didn't watch it live. And I was reading everyone's tweets, listening to what people were saying about the game. And here's what I picked up from what people were saying. The Lakers allowed a lot of open threes by overhelping. They couldn't play defense. They got outworked. The Wolves were more physical. The Wolves were underestimated. Ant-Man was a beast. LeBron was not good. Reeves was bad. And no one else did anything. And that the lack of size and lack of perimeter defense is going to be tough against a very good team that essentially replaced Karl-Anthony Towns and Kyle Anderson with Dante DiVincenzo and Julius Randle. The team that made the conference finals last year. Same coaching staff, same Ant-Man, same Rudy Gobert, Jaden McDaniels, getting better. In an Ant-Man's case, in Jaden McDaniels and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, these guys are getting better every year. They're developing, and they're having positive. Every season they get better. I don't see how many actual basketball advantages the Lakers really have. Like, I really don't know how many basketball advantages they have. They have no one that can guard Anthony Edwards. No one. Not Dorian Finney-Smith, not Gabe Vincent, and more importantly, they have a lot of guys that can be exploited. LeBron at times, Luca a lot. I think in the first half, Luca's defense was he was trying hard, but he can't guard. He's just not a good defender. Ant-Man, every time Luca's on him, he's drawing 2 to the ball. He's getting 2 feet in the paint. Austin Reeves, the Lakers literally, they started the game with Austin Reeves as the primary defender on Anthony Edwards in a playoff game. LeBron on Randall, Luca on McDaniels, Jackson Hayes on Rudy Gobert, and Rui Hachimura on Mike Conley. You started, what the alternative is to start, this is their starting lineup. Like, there's no alternative. This is their starting lineup they've gone with right now, and I don't think they're going to change it. And Austin Reeves is the third best player on this team and has been spectacular this entire season. But the fact that he is guarding the elite player, one of the best players in the world, in a playoff series to begin a game is like, that's your preferred defender on him. I genuinely think LeBron would do the best job staying in front of him, even at his old ass age. But that's not ideal at all. Gabe Vincent and Dorian Finney-Smith can't guard Ant-Man. And here's what you were thinking, and what I was overlooking, and I didn't do a preview for this series. I didn't really think it out. The Lakers don't have the same advantages on the other side. You remember how the Mavericks exposed the Wolves last year? Luca and Kyrie Irving in the pick and roll with Daniel Gafford and Lively as lob threats. Jackson Hayes is a lob threat, but he's not Derek Lively and he's not Daniel Gafford. He's a level below. He needs to really be spoon-fed. In the beginning of that game, they had Gobert and drop, and Luca was absolutely cooking. He came out with a crazy intensity. McDaniels was guarding him and like picking him up full court, and they were getting very physical again, just like last year. Ant-Man on Reeves, and I did not see that much to begin the season. Gobert on Hayes, Randall on LeBron, and Conley on Rui Hachimura. So there's a mismatch there, but they didn't really look into it. Although Rui got off to a really good start. He had 2 threes early. Luca had 16 points in the first quarter. And this is what I found like that was an interesting wrinkle. And I honestly think I want to look at this because when Jackson Hayes was in to begin the game, I just want to see what the score was because they went away from him fairly early. Okay, it was 9-7 Lakers. And Jackson Hayes was subbed out for Dorian Finney-Smith at the 8:26 mark of the first quarter, which told you a lot of what JJ wanted to do. And that was play 5 out. Take Rudy Gobert away from the basket. Because Rudy's such a great rim protector. He is. And Jackson Hayes, I mean, we know the way JJ wants to play. He wants a lot of threes. He wants space for Luca and LeBron. So he's going with Dorian. Then that you also get Dorian to guard Ant-Man. So, it looks good. Lakers led by as many as 8, 20-12 in that first quarter. They were in pretty much good control. They were playing good defense. They were switching 1 through 5. And even when Jackson Hayes was in early, they were switching 1 through 5. So that's something that they've been kind of married to. And I don't know if it's a good strategy, honestly, because I don't know if they have switched 1 through 5 personnel. But when they did go to, what's his name? The small ball, like they have options, Minnesota. And when Naz Reid came in, he was getting in the basket because like he's either too big for a lot of guys or he's too quick for a lot of bigs. And he's a problem. So they're just getting into situations where if you're going to play a switch everything game with them, the Lakers aren't going to win that battle. You would think that with LeBron, Luca, and Reeves, you would win these switch everything isolation battle because that's what it was. They were literally just doing isos like each team. A lot of the NBA, it's just pick and roll and ISO. I think these people that cape for it so much, they fucking tell you that it's so complex and that everybody's running such advanced garbage. Dude, so much of it is switch and isolation. And if you're switching screens so much, it's going to be, matchup hunting. And that's how the game is going to go. And a lot of it is because guys do not take advantage of smaller dudes anymore because they don't know how to play with their back to the basket, but no one wants to talk about that. Point being though, in this series, if you want to get into a battle of, both teams are switching 1 through 5, let's matchup hunt. They think that getting Rudy Gobert on a switch on an island is like a guaranteed bucket. Like he can't move his feet at all. There's I'm a Gobert hater. There's a disingenuous narrative about Gobert's defense. He doesn't actually get picked on in space one-on-one like people think. The Utah Jazz had horrible point of attack defenders. Luka Doncic made both Jaden McDaniels and Rudy Gobert look like nothing last year. But Dallas could defend. They really could rebound. And Kyrie Irving played really well. LeBron, on the other hand, he wasn't very aggressive. And he didn't even score a point in the first quarter. He was scoreless after 1, which is not like him. And Ant-Man's being aggressive. He already took 7 shots in the first quarter. But good first quarter for the Lakers, all things considered. Now here comes the avalanche. 7-0 run for the Wolves, 14-2 run. Naz Reid matchup issue, complete matchup issue. LeBron was being used as a screener a decent amount in the beginning of the game. Randall, when he was guarding LeBron, would drop on those and allow LeBron to shoot the 3. And the King, he was not hitting. He was 1 for 5 from 3. And I think a lot of it is similar to the way I say about James Harden. He and LeBron, a lot of it now is if they're hitting the 3 ball, because there's been games this season where LeBron looks like he can get to the rim whenever he wants. But the Minnesota Timberwolves have good LeBron defenders for this reason. LeBron at this stage of his career is not beating guys with speed the same way he once was. He's beating guys with bully ball, with strength. You're not going to just stick your shoulder into the chest of Gobert, Naz Reid, and Ant-Man and just bully them, and McDaniel. Like, these guys are not pushovers. And Randall, this is when I knew this might be a different series, is when LeBron went to the basket, and this, I've almost never seen this in his entire career, 2 possessions in a row and gets blocked. And LeBron in isolation against good defenders, early in his career, it looked a little funky. From 2011 to 2018, it was barbecue. But his process when he's dribbling at the top, it's a lot of dribbling. That's when you see like the Leno bag type, like, crazy shit that goes viral of him like looking like he has no bag. I do not think LeBron has no bag. He's the all-time leading scorer in basketball. He definitely has a bag. It's not the most aesthetically pleasing bag, but he often over dribbles when he ISOs like that at the top, and everyone stands around and watches. And it's part of it, in my opinion, why the 2022 Lakers also weren't as good, is because even though he was getting his stats and stuff, it was just even his process. Everybody was just standing around watching, and you're never going to get the most out of everybody like that. But if the Lakers are going to play an ISO game, I'm telling you, like, Luca is going to get his buckets, but Reeves, like, who's he going to expose? The only weak defender is Conley. DiVincenzo can guard, although I would attack him more than others. But McDaniels is locked down. Alexander Walker's locked down. Randall, that was one of the best playoff games I've ever seen him play. He's the X factor. If he can play well, they're going to win this series. 16 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, but he had 7 turnovers, which is Kawhi status. But he played well on both ends for me. 6 for 11 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3, scoring on LeBron, getting double teamed. I mean, Wolves had 29 assists to the Lakers 15. And there is an element of the Lakers missed open threes. I think when the Lakers are able to make their threes, it's going to look good. It's going to be hard to guard, but they need to create better looks. Like, Luka is barely creating separation. And when the Lakers don't have a lob threat, they're just going to switch. And they're going to switch on Hayes too, because they don't think that he can take advantage of size, but at least he can take advantage on the glass. if they keep Hayes in. I think he was not played enough. 8 minutes, 1 point, 0 for 2. The small ball didn't work. So, like, JJ has to really rethink the way he wants to play this series. He wants to just go 5 out. They're going to jack up threes. I don't think that's going to happen. Here's the thing. Lakers Doomer says Vanderbilt is a liability on offense. But here's the thing. He literally sparked that, like, fake run in the second half. He sparked that fake run. He was, causing havoc, pressuring guys in the backcourt, causing turnovers. Ben Borley says, I'd love to see Vanderbilt get more time on Ant. But, man, the Wolves were just getting – and at some point, I heard people saying the Lakers are overhelping. Look, is it really over? I mean, there were sometimes they were caught overhelping one pass away, Luca. But I don't even think LeBron's defensive effort was too bad. But in transition, they've been bad all season. And when they're missing shots, I mean – They need to hustle back. They're just LeBron, Reeves, and Luca in this game. I mean, they have to be better getting back because the Wolves just have so many better defenders to guard them. There was one lineup where it's like DiVincenzo, Reed, Gobert, Ant, and McDaniels, and it's like they have a bunch of physicality. They have a bunch of size. They have Ant that can create. They have DiVincenzo that can create. And if they want to go all defense, they can put in Alexander Walker and DiVincenzo and take out one of the bigs. But I think Reed is so underrated. I think he's someone that I overlooked completely. He can do so many things. And I think, Reeves needs to be much better, but like, who is he really going to try to get buckets on? I would say Conley. Lakers got to really attack Mike Conley, like play him off the floor. But I mean, LeBron one-on-one against Gobert, I don't know how much he's going to cook him. It's all about his three falling at that point. Luca, it's going to all come down to LeBron and Luca creating offense. If they score, they can set their defense. But Ant-Man's really matured with his playmaking. He's seeing the open man. They're relocating and, getting into his line of vision, his teammates. And this is a good team. And the Lakers, they're still a team that traded for somebody that's a future move, like a future piece in the middle of the season. And teams like that don't win championships for a reason. So are they going to win this series? I still think they're going to win, but Lakers in 6 was a bad pick. It's definitely going to be Lakers in 7 if they win, I think. But we'll see. It's going to be a true test about the Lakers coaching staff, JJ Redick, how they're going to adjust. But yeah. LeBron needs to be much better. I think a great LeBron performance will change a lot. But it's going to be tough for him because they have great defenders and the Wolves are motivated. I mean, they got 4-1 in the conference finals. And Reeves, I mean, he was shooting a lot of deep contested jumpers. Like the difference is the Lakers are struggling to get good shots. They still missed a lot of good ones, but they're struggling. Whereas the Wolves, I mean, every shot is open three. There's no resistance. They can get in the paint whenever they want. The Lakers have no one to guard Ant-Man. They have no one. But anyway, I'm not even going to talk about the fake comeback the Lakers had, 10-0 run. Reeves had 14 in the third. Vando played hard, but there was no urgency. And when they got punched in the mouth, it took them too long to respond. So it was not playoff effort. Even JJ Redick said it was regular season intensity. And that's embarrassing for a first playoff game. And, Laker fans are getting criticized on social. So it's a time for the Clipper fans to step up and into it on, what day is it? What day is it? On, Tuesday? No, Thursday. Anyway, Lakers lose game 1 at home, 117-95 in an absolute beatdown. First time Lakers hosted a game 1 in the first round since 2012 when Andrew Bynum had a triple-double with blocks on that Sunday afternoon. It's a tough loss. Lakers shot just 40% from the field, 37 from 3, 15 for 41. They shot well from the line, though, 87.5%. 14 for 16. The Wolves, on the other hand, shot 51% from the field, 50 from 3, so they'll cool down, 21 for 42. But when it's wide open threes, and let's see. I think they're a pretty good three-point shooting team, but I'm going to double check right now. Let's see. I want regular season. I want traditional stats. 3-point percentage. They're number 1. So there you go. They're the number 1 3-point shooting team in the league. Oh, that's playoffs. They're 4th. So second best in the West behind the Suns. So the best team in the Western Conference playoffs. So, I mean, sucks to suck. The Lakers might be screwed. Let's see. Where do the Lakers play? Because the thing is, JJ's does not want Gobert in there against Reeves and against LeBron. He's going to take away the rim. So it's going to all come down to their threes. And like, what is their 3-point percentage this season, Lakers? They're 14th. They're mid. So we'll see. It all comes down to Lakers making threes, setting their defense. And look, I mean, it's very stagnant. You have to find a way to keep Reeves in rhythm. Yeah, you did miss Clipper Talk Scam likely, but you have to find a way to keep Reeves in rhythm. I felt in the first half, 6 shots. He just felt very disconnected. But if the Wolves are going to switch like that, and they're going to be okay switching Reed onto LeBron, they're going to be okay switching Luca or Reed onto Luca. The Lakers don't have bigs or guys that are going to take advantage of size like that. They got to keep Hazen, though, to at least rebound. Because you have no lob threat for Luca or LeBron. You have no one in that dunker spot. I think you'll see more Hayes minutes for sure in game 2. But that's their best option at center, and it's not ideal, and we knew that when they made this trade. That's why I said they're not going to win a ring. But then I started thinking, they're so good, though, Luca and LeBron. We'll see. I mean, it would be a great story if Minnesota reminds us all what a team is all about. Because, yeah, the Lakers do have 2 of the best 3 players of the series. But Austin Reeves is not more impactful than Gobert yet. I'm sorry. And then I'd probably say maybe Austin Reeves next. I don't know. I can't go Austin Reeves over Randall yet. I still have to respect Randall. He's an all-star twice. Then it's Austin Reeves. And then it's everybody on the Wolves. Nikhil, not Conley this season. McDaniels, I mean, if you don't have bigger, more athletic guys guarding him, like at least a Hachimura, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron, he's going to get offensive rebounds. They outscored the Lakers 38-20 in the second quarter. 38-20. And 35-30 in the third and 23-17 in the fourth. They outscored them in every quarter but the first. The Lakers, Dorian Finney-Smith was 1 for 5 from the field and 1 for 3 from 3. Had no chance of guarding Ant-Man. 3 points, 3 boards, 2 assists. I think he will have better games. He's got to make open shots, though. It's why he's brought on this team. Vanderbilt, 2 points, 4 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal. I think he actually had a better impact than what his stats show. 1 for 3 from the field. His offense is not great, though. Gabe Vincent, they need much better from him. Part of the biggest positive stretches of the season for the Lakers this year were when Gabe Vincent was hooping, was hitting shots. 3 points on 1 for 3 shooting in 25 minutes is not going to cut it. And then you have they got nothing off the bench, the Lakers. And again, when they made the trade, we knew Max, they hurt their depth. Then the starters, Jackson Hayes, 1 point, 3 rebounds in 8 minutes. Rui, he's got to be much better than this. He started out well, and then he was garbage. 9 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. He can't guard Ant-Man either, and they know that. So it's got to be a little bit more hedging and recovering for the Lakers. 3 for 9 from the field. Did shoot well from 3, though. 3 for 7 from deep. No free throw attempts for Rui. And then Reeves, 16 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. A lot of those were in the third quarter when they'd already gotten punched in the mouth at halftime. He could not guard Anthony Edwards to save his life. 5 for 13 from the field. 3 for 18, 3 for 8 from 3, 3 for 3 from the foul line. And then LeBron was just not good at all. 19 points, just looked kind of out of it. I wouldn't say he quit or anything. Defensively, he looked more in it than offensively. Maybe he knows that they have good defenders for him. 19, 5 rebounds, only 3 assists. Did have 2 steals and 3 blocks, 4 turnovers on 8 for 18 shooting, 1 for 5 from 3, and made both his free throws. Then Luca, I thought he was good, all things considered, but his defense is trash. 37 points, and his process is just ball huggy. 37. None of these guys move without the ball spontaneously. LeBron sometimes does, but shit. They're going to have to move a little more off the ball, get a little more creative. That's on the coaches a little bit too, but not as much as people want to make it seem. 37 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 5 turnovers on 12 for 22 shooting, 5 for 10 from 3, and 8 for 9 from the foul line in 40 minutes. Safe to say he played pretty well in his first playoff game as a Laker. But the Lakers got a lot of work to do. And as far as me, I mean, we got to talk about the Wolves. Got to give them their flowers. DiVincenzo, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a turnover off the bench, 4 for 9 from the field, and 1 for 5 from 3. The only 3 he made was that amazing buzzer beater at the end of the second quarter. Luca had a nice buzzer beater in the third quarter. Nikhil Alexander-Walker didn't shoot well, but man, he makes an impact. 7 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, 1 block, no turnovers on 2 for 9 shooting and 1 for 6 from 3. Naz Reid, really an 8-man rotation. Naz Reid, 23 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, and no turnovers off the bench on 8 for 12 shooting and 6 for 9 from 3. That guy's a talent. 1 for 2 from the foul line. Starters, I thought Conley actually played pretty well, and he's a concern. Lakers got to attack him more. He had 9 points, 3 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals, and just 1 turnover on 3 for 5 shooting, 2 for 3 from deep, and 1 for 1 from the foul line in 22 minutes. He was a plus 13. I think he was great. McDaniels was just awesome. 25 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, no turnovers on 11 for 13 shooting, made all 3 of his threes, and got 4 offensive rebounds. Here's the thing about Jaden McDaniels. He averaged 12 points this year, and he averages 2 offensive rebounds a game. And the only thing is he shoots 33% from 3. So the 3 ball, I think, is going to have some variance. But in terms of if they get out in transition and the Lakers don't rebound and they're so small, he is going to feast in this series. What a game for him. Efficiency-wise, insane. Then you had Gobert, just 2 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block on 1 for 2 shooting in 24 minutes, but I thought he did his job. He was a good defender. He was protecting the rim. Randall, 16 points, 5 rebounds. I already talked about his stats. He was good. Ant-Man, player of the game for me. 22 points, 8 boards, 9 assists, 1 steal, just 1 turnover on 8 for 22 shooting, 4 for 9 from 3, and 2 for 2 from the foul line. Great win for the Wolves. They have now taken home court advantage. As far as the Warriors game, look, I wasn't watching it super thoroughly because I was at a business meeting for my club team, but I'll say this. I did watch the first 2 games of Jimmy Butler on the Warriors, and it's been a seamless fit from the beginning. I mean, the thing that's been interesting for me is in the games that I've watched, Kuminga has not played in any of them. And that was what I was kind of concerned about, was like the spacing. Is it not going to be great because Kuminga's a non-shooter? Draymond's not a great shooter from outside. Is not a willing shooter all the time from outside. Then you have Jimmy, who's not going to catch and shoot from 3 like that. So but they haven't had Kuminga. They've kind of phased him out, and it's honestly added a lot to their basketball IQ. I think Jimmy's one of the highest IQ players in the league. He's not selfish at all. I think he's unselfish to a fault sometimes, but he's a great cutter. He really moves without the ball well. I don't think he's too much of a ball pounder. When he ISOs, though, he just doesn't really have a bag, and I love that he plays off 2 feet, but he sometimes plays off 2 a little too much, and it like allows guys to catch up to him when he gets the step on guys. And he also jump passes way too much because he's indecisive shooting the ball. But he works really well with the Warriors because he passes, he moves, he relocates. He can be the trigger man. He sets screens. And Draymond, and Steph work pretty well together. The spacing can be a little clunky at times, but it's just another guy that can penetrate and drive and kick and get to the free throw line, which is honestly something the Warriors have really lacked. And like this plays where Draymond has the ball, it's a split action. Jimmy setting the back screen. You just have different options. You know what I'm saying? Or Steph sitting in the back screen, Jimmy diving into the basket. So, another guy that can pass, that can move without the ball, not even a great shooter. So they don't have it's not the crazy offense that it once was, but it's a really great move. And you add another star to the mix. And even though their point of attack defense took a hit with Wiggins, I think Moody is playing hard. Pods is playing his ass off. It's going to be a problem for them when they get to, the next round, if they play the Lakers or they play the Wolves. But I said Rockets in 7, but man, they literally play AAU offense. They just literally take turns running pick and roll, mismatch hunt, chuck. I mean, Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet, they both think they're the fucking greatest players ever. And I mean, Jalen Green, I think the Rockets need to get rid of him after this year. He's just been given enough chances. This is going to be, I know it's his first playoffs, but he just chucks, and he's not like that. He's only like that. He's like very streaky. And then Fred VanVleet is the same. So they're just too volatile with their shooting. And I said before the series, and then in my preview, it's got to go through Şengün in the half court. I think they got to do more of that. But I'm going to rewatch the game, so I'll have a more thorough reaction to it when I go live and talk about all the other ones. I'm going to try to go live again. Well, tomorrow I'm going to be at the viewing party, so live tomorrow, fat chance, but we'll see. Definitely Tuesday. And we'll talk about all these games I missed. But this has already been too long of a video. So Lakers got some work to do. Got some real work to do. And the Warriors got a good win. Steph Curry was insane. He's a beast. The Rockets, though, they're literally just taking turns ISOing. It's ridiculous. But Steph Curry is, the man. And Paz worked his ass off, but I got to lock in a little more. So I'll be back, talk about it later. But thank you for joining me. Thank you so much. Comment on the video what you think. What are your predictions for the Lakers series, for the Clippers series? Thoughts on my analysis? I know I was super all over the place for the Clippers one, but appreciate the video. And I'm going to be trying to go live after every single game. By the way, every single vlog of mine has hit 1,000 views, even the watch party one. Please go check out the recent video and the OKC vlog that's at like 960. Please get it to 1,000. Thank you. Have a great night.